last night. They are the superstars leading them out on the field. They're banged up, but they were ready to go against Derek Carr and the Saints. It's 10-0 Kansas City, but how about Rashid Shaheed?
Oh, yeah, this speed is a problem against everyone. You get him up on a safety with a two-way go. It's a no-win situation. 6 points. Shaheed looks bored. It's too easy.
Spun him around.
Kansas City defense doesn't look bored. They look frustrated. Meantime, next KC drive. 3rd and 22, Travis Kelce. Come on, do it. Do it. Do it. He did it! That's the best play in football, is the Travis Kelce mid-play lateral. Does he just improvise that, Jeff? Or
No, they practiced that. They talk about it.
But my point is, that's planned before the play.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
9 catches, 70 yards. Chiefs up 16-7 at halftime. And then this big man interception.
Big man, look at the body. Look at the control. Look at the speed. Show him what you got, big man. Hey, look.
And he outran Worthy, I think, right there.
That's what I'm talking about. Show him the wheels, baby. Show him the wheels.
Oxygen.
Colin Sanders, the former Chief, with the interception. It's still 16-7. Now the Saints with a chance. Foster Moreau in the end zone by himself. They would miss the extra point. Big miss.
Big.
So it remains 16-13 Kansas City. So they need an answer. And where would they go? Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes has an answer for everything to get Smith-Schuster, who had 130 on the day, 50 of them right here, pulling away from Tyrann Mathieu.
Would have had a tud, too, if he caught that time.
And then 3 plays later, this is Travis Kelce at quarterback, giving it to Xavier Worthy, the creativity of the offense. Chiefs take a 10-point lead. The ball's for Mom. We're all doing well.
Good. Happy birthday, Mom.
Now, Saints getting ready to go down, but then they would have injury added to insult. Take a look at Carr here on the play. It's an oblique.
Oh, yeah, he was getting hit a lot all night. This defense was getting after him. He's throwing up prayers in the corner.
Felt like there was 15 players on the defense right there. I'm not going to lie to you. They just a swarm of bees back there. He's just pitching it up.
And then, speaking of a swarm, just watch Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, Lamar Jackson.
Run into each other. Don't make them trip over each other. Don't do that.
My goodness.
That's the convert on a 3rd and 9. They would turn this into a field goal that would ice the game. Mahomes threw for 331 yards. We mentioned Kelce had the 9 catches on 10 targets, and Kansas City remains perfect. They're the only unbeaten in the AFC. Yesterday was their first game without Rashee Rice. It showed in the game plan. Patrick Mahomes averaging 3.7 air yards per attempt, tied for the smallest rate in a game in his career. They were still able to move it, but once they got to the red zone, they struggled. Touchdowns on just 2 of 7 drives. And overall this year, that's been a problem. They're 30th in red zone touchdown percentage, only ahead of Miami and New England. Now, one could argue that we're just trying to nitpick the Chiefs because they're so good all the time. Or one could argue that as much as they are 5-0, there do appear to be some clear flaws in this team. Which side of that would you argue?
I mean, the second thing you said is true, but my question is, who cares? Like, we had this conversation last year, like all season long. Oh, is the offense going to be good enough? Is the defense going to have to carry them? The issues, yes, the air yards, it's not like they were air yard kings when Rashee Rice was in there. He was catching underneath stuff, too. They need to probably add a receiver, and they always do. I think they'll probably bring somebody in. But they are elite at winning the football game. Like, that is their top skill. No, I mean, I get what you're saying.
You don't.
But, like, I do, but we have
didn't
seen
say anything.
him.
That's true. Can't get what I'm saying
I get what your face is saying.
Your mannerism.
Long enough.
Yeah, it's true.
Say, what is it your face is saying?
I get what everyone is saying. Patrick Mahomes is really great. And I personally can get drunk on that Patrick Mahomes too. I did when they were in the playoffs or then in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. And they lost that game because there are some things about football that are true. And one of those things is you need to be able to protect your quarterback. Sure. They couldn't protect the quarterback in that Buccaneers Super Bowl, and they lost. They haven't been able to protect their quarterback this season, and it's going to cause them some trouble. And we grade them on a curve. It's not going to make them have a bad season. But in the playoffs, there's no receiver that you can get that's going to address this problem unless they learn how to protect this quarterback, and the defense is not going to be perfect again this season.
But what we've said about them through the years, and one of the guys they've used at left tackle this year is a rookie, like, there is evidence in the Chiefs' recent history that will be a better player 2 months from now, right? They have shown an ability to find the solutions to their problems, and while they're not playing their best, they're 5-0.
Right.
So, Jeff, if you were to bet that palatial estate of yours down there in Georgia with the hunting cabin out back or whatever it is you got.
It's a blind.
The hut, the blind, the deaf, I don't know what you got back there. Whatever it is you have down there.
Yes.
Would you bet it on Kansas City or someone else in the AFC to come out and play in the Super Bowl?
Kansas City. I don't see any team that I would just say if I line them up tomorrow, I would pick over Kansas City. And again, the field, taking the field is easy because it's statistics, all that kind of stuff. But think about Patrick Mahomes and how good he is. And if you're going to have a pressure or a quarterback that's going to be pressured, that's the one you want to be pressured because he does so many things. This is not the same situation as what happened against Tampa, where both sides were giving up issues and having major problems. You have a left tackle that's struggling. The answer to those test questions, Andy Reid knows. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like having to put bodies on it. He wants to spread everybody out, see the full field, do all those things. But you saw him last night. They had 3 tight ends. I think they had 4 tight ends at one point.
They did.
Like some kind of crazy design. He will find ways to protect that guy. As the games get more important, and you and I both know this, they will find a way to make sure Patrick Mahomes is staying vertical. You just can't bet against him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of trust and a lot of hope, and I know they're going to. So that's where I stop. Is there a scenario where you would stop believing in the Chiefs if Patrick Mahomes is back there? Otherwise, you have to pick them to win the Super Bowl every year for the rest of eternity. Like, I think that there are situations where teams can outplay the Chiefs, and when they're in a situation where they have to go short passes the whole time, that give you chances for tipped interceptions, and that stuff's going to catch up to you in the playoffs.
I understand what you're saying, and I think I would agree if it weren't for one thing. There's no one else in the AFC that bowls you over. We thought the conference was going to be the ultimate murderer's row, right? Yeah. Look at all the great young quarterbacks. Look at it. Well, A, they've beaten Baltimore and Cincinnati, 2 of the teams with the great quarterbacks, and B, with the possible exception of Baltimore, no one really looks that good. The Bills don't look that good. The Texans, their one real big test, they got smoked by Minnesota.
Better team than them right now, and I know they beat the Ravens, and we all can hash this out all over again about how it's just a toe. To me, the Ravens since then have gotten better. The Chiefs since then have gotten more injured, and that's a problem going forward. And the answer is, this was the difference in that game. It's fine. These teams at that point were very close.
And they were basically equal. I mean, the game ended on that toe not being in bounds.
My point is, since then, I believe that the Ravens have gotten better, and Chiefs haven't. And I think the big thing that beats the Ravens' defense is an outstanding receiver. We've seen that time and time again. That's what gives them trouble, because it takes the flexibility they have to create special blitzes and bluffs and confuse the quarterback away.
So who's got that?
Don't have
Which team has it?
Nico Collins is the guy when he's healthy.
And he's
healthy, but in the other team that has it is the Bengals, who may not make the playoffs.
Right.
I think when you say styles make fights, that's why I like the Ravens, because you look around the league and you say the one criticism you have of Lamar is his issue with accuracy. Last couple weeks, he's been accurate and he's been dominant when you try to blitz him. That's the other question. The questions that you have about the Ravens, they are showing the answers for it. The questions that you have about the Chiefs, you guys are saying, well, I know Andy gonna have an answer. You haven't seen it answered yet.
They're undefeated. There is an answer. They're undefeated, bro.
Okay.
They are finding ways to win.
Too bad we don't win the Super Bowl in October. I agree they're undefeated. I'm trying to project what the situation is going to be.
That's the point, though. If the AFC Championship game was this weekend and it was Ravens-Chiefs, you might like the Ravens better, but it's not. And I think we have enough evidence to say that the Chiefs will be a better team come January than they are now. And by the way, in the meantime, they're 5-0, which means they're on their way to having a bye.
And they'll probably do what they always do, which is find another receiver somewhere, right? They'll make a trade for a receiver, not a superstar, not Devontae Adams, but they'll bring somebody in. Okay, week 5 is behind us. Let's do superlatives. Graz, let's start with you. What was the most impressive thing you saw in week 5?
Lamar Jackson, my goodness. This was the absolute pinnacle of Lamar Jackson. Watching him run around. Look, they fumble the snap. Here he comes. Here comes the big guy. No, big guy. I'm still up. Who's going to cover for 15 seconds? Right? Somebody's open. He did this like 3 or 4 times in this game. He was amazing. Everything about being a Lamar Jackson fan came to fruition on Sunday. It was incredible to watch.
It was a number 1 on SportsCenter top plays on back-to-back days. It was so good, they gave it to him again today. Neek, which team was most disappointing for you?
It was the Buffalo Bills. I think before the season started, I was one of the few people who was high on the Bills, and they had a rough loss last week against the Ravens. I expected them to bounce back, but it seemed like this performance was in some ways worse than the one against the Ravens. For sure. You saw nothing special out of that special quarterback, and then you had some bad decision making, you guys would say, at the end of this game. So it's really disappointed in the Bills going up against an AFC contender that they're going to have to face in the playoffs.
We wouldn't say it was bad decision making. Everyone but you would say it was bad decision making.
Let them know.
Jeff, give us your favorite play from the weekend.
Oh, the field goal block. Watch the athletic jumping, scooping, and scoring. It does not get any better than that. And was it fair? Probably not. But I still like it. They got a little push on the snapper, jumps over it, blocks it. But I think it's a trade for a trade because
you missed the best part. The best part is that one of the guys is telling him to do the smart thing to get down, and he's like, no, I got a shot at no chance.
Nick, what was the worst play?
Yeah, this was the worst play. Jordan Love had a bunch of great throws in this game, but this was, I'm not going to evoke anyone else's name, but you know who I'm thinking of. This is a bad pass in this situation right here.
You're thinking of Dan Orlovsky.
I wasn't. Hey, I wasn't. I was thinking Levis.
Sorry.
I was thinking Levis.
Well, Orlovsky tweeted, maybe this gets me off the hook. This play was worse than his play because his play only cost his team 2 points, and this one cost them a touchdown. He has to be thinking he's throwing it out of bounds, right? Like he's trying to throw it out of bounds.
I don't know. You're falling
thinking,
down.
oh, my God, I'm going to get hit. That's what he was thinking.
That's a really bad.
How you going to take a shot at my man Dan?
Dan's the one who raised it. I defended Dan earlier in the show.
Home watching. I'm sorry, Dan. I won't let
Dan, we still love you, Dan.
Dan, I defended you earlier this morning.
No.
We love Monday, Dan.
What good is that now?
We love Monday, Dan.
Throw him under. I was thinking Levis.
That was a pretty terrible play there, right? I mean, that's a terrible play. And so we'll see. And if they wind up winning the game anyway, so we'll see where they wind up.